Okay,
I was
go ahead.
no,
Let me introduce the boys real quick. Yo, it's been a while. It's been a minute. I'm glad I'm back, and I'm glad I really never left. And I'm glad these are the first guys I have at Chop Up Radio, and it's a great thing because we drinking everything that I love about our industry. Well, the love part for our industry is the spirits, but particularly in anything else, it's gonna be the wine. So, gentlemen, I know you as the Wine Migos, but please, if you could introduce yourselves. It's gonna be too New York.
It's gonna be heavy.
It's gonna be too New York. It's gonna be too New York. I appreciate y'all fellas coming through, but please, man, drink away and talk away. Let me know who each of y'all are.
I guess I'll go first. I'm Moselle Watson, aka the Wine God, Harlem's Wine God. Yeah, that's me.
G-O-D or G-A-W?
G-O-D in the flesh.
G-O-D in the flesh, capital G-O-D.
In the flesh.
So I'm Oscar Garcia Moncada. I'm the baptized the wine OG NYC.
Oh shit. Okay.
That I didn't give myself that title.
Nah, that's his name.
That's how it's
It was given.
That's his
my
name.
is
That's his
Oscar.
name.
Anointed.
Last name Garcia. Second last name Moncada.
He's my OG.
The OG.
The OG.
He's my OG.
That's right. It's better when you don't give yourself the name, right?
Never give yourself.
Never give yourself the name. And this guy right here, I know this
I
guy.
gave myself the name. I gave myself the name.
Tap God.
Yeah. Nah, Kevin Ufred. Y'all know me as the Sucio Sommelier. Sucio Som. Y'all know the drill. It's Agüita Bendita, aka Gusanito. Y'all know the vibe. Agüita Bendita, little holy water. They know me. I gave myself all those names. Yeah, shout out to the Browns. Shout out to BX.
The X.
Up
boy.
top.
The up top. Okay, we got kind of every borough. You from Harlem?
I'm from the Heights.
You from the Heights? Oh, up top. Up. Everybody from up. I'm the
LES.
LES guy.
We survived the flood.
I know, but hey, we wore North Face first.
LES had it.
Ain't no argument, bro.
Okay.
We don't want to get the microphones cut. You got it.
All right, let's get into everything and why we're here. But give me a basis of how the three of you initially supposed to be for one of the gentlemen is not here today.
Or shout out to Freaks, man. He's not here today.
He's not here today.
COVID specialist.
I wanted to see that bucket. I heard the bucket hat is a staple.
That's a staple.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that and see it. But how did you guys get together?
Man.
At it.
Shit. Well, me and OG used to work together. And that's how we ended up. We used to work together about 14, 15 years ago.
Wow.
And then he took me under his wing and started teaching me about not teaching me, but everybody know I'm from Harlem, and we dress, we flashy. That's how we give it up. And Oscar, at the time I was working in the basement, and Oscar was one of the not sales reps, but the salespeople in the shop. And he would dress nice too, suits, button ups, ties, all that, fly nigga. And he would come down to the basement though and start moving shit, and like dressed up. I'm like, who?
Moving what? Like,
Cases, boxes.
It's like, yo, what are you doing?
What are you doing down here?
With Ralph Lauren on.
Yeah,
That's
so,
right.
So there was the time when Ralph Lauren rugby was on fire.
Oh, when they had the. Remember when? Real quick side note. Remember they had the VIP list.
Yeah.
They had the book. They had Ye in there. Everybody what their percentage was.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the rugby. But go ahead.
And also, we started to connect off of like fashion, and then him and a few other salespeople was like, yo, you should know about this wine shit. Like, that's what we're doing now. And I just played it off like, nah, I'm good. I don't really know about this shit. I'm good. Tell me where you got that jacket from. Like, all right, we going to Club Monaco? All right, right. I go Club Monaco. And then, I don't know. We just started fucking with each other. I just started fucking with Oscar. And then I don't know when me and you officially met, Calvin. I just know, because I be getting drunk sometimes. So
This nigga right
so I don't.
We had a wine bowl
Event.
It was a portfolio show.
Okay.
And I'm there in my suit. It's my first year working there. I work for Martin Scott. And I'm there in my suit doing my best white voice. Welcome, the bourbon's over here. And I'm there just like, trying to fit in, doing the code switching I gotta do to get by,
Okay.
and out of nowhere comes this hurricane of motherfuckers from Harlem, and this one down ass white boy. Shout out to David Laven, Mescal boy. They were in, dancing, screaming, yelling, drinking all
Right.
kinds of shit. It was like the Tasmanian Devil times 5.
What time? What year was it?
So this
Bro,
is
like 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Oh, it's recent.
When I have my wine shop, I used to own a shop in Harlem before I sold it.
Okay, okay.
And I'm from Harlem, so I'm hiring everybody from Harlem.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you're not from Harlem, you're not gonna work at the shop. That's how it is.
Oh, that's how you want it.
That's
That's
really
good.
how
So
it is.
hire-
So I was
hire
ta-
within.
I was mostly taking people off the street. Cause like instead of selling drugs and just doing dumb shit, come deliver this wine for me. Come stop the show. That's what that was. And I don't usually go to industry events because their shit shows to me. Like the reps, they'll come to me to tell me what I need to buy. Me going to the portfolio tasting me, oh, the whole portfolio is here for me to drink and it's not me for. So I took my staff to the portfolio taste. They never seen no shit like that. And when you could tell as soon as the it was at the Grand Pavilion or was it on floor?
Lincoln Center.
Lincoln Center, Grand
Lincoln Center,
Pavilion.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! So it was.
Soon as
You're in Manhattan.
As soon as the doors opened, it felt like if there was music playing, music stopped. Music stopped. Everybody looked at us. It was like, oh yeah, we in here, and we just went to every table. We was drinking everything and just being ourselves. Like
You see security people checking.
checking. we had at the time I had like store T-shirts, so we all had on our store T-shirts and running through.
Right.
And then apparently I met Calvin at it.
Yeah.
We
This
met that
motherfucker was
You remember?
levitating. Yeah, he's levitating.
Yes.
But you know, it's funny. I've never really seen like a representation like that in that environment where men of color, people of color are so themselves. So I don't give a fuck. So knowledgeable too, because they knew what they were tasting, but they just didn't want to intellectualize it. They just wanted to be themselves. And I don't think Sucio San would exist without me meeting Mo that day. Because after that
This
day,
made you kind of right.
I was like, why am I doing this? Like my clothes felt weird. My
Why are
voice
you
felt
doing
weird.
that type of you?
Exactly.
Right.
So, and that's what kind of set it all up.
I
for me.
think there's a piece in the article where it kind of exudes that kind of thinking and mentality. It's like, and we were speaking about it earlier before the mics come on. Like, why does wine necessarily just have to pair with a certain type of food from a certain region? Particularly, what was it? French,
Yeah.
European
And
food.
then, yeah.
Why can't we pair it with food that
Yeah.
we grew up on?
Facts.
And that was basically the point that I was trying to make in the article, because people look at champagne and they think in two ways. They think about it in a way that is very elitist,
Yeah.
and I think the wine culture as a whole is very elitist,
Yeah.
and it's isolating, it's polarizing. So the whole idea was for us to be ourselves.
Right.
Meaning like be comfortable, dress, drink, enjoy, and make that impact to other people that see champagnes either in a music video or you see it in a fine dining establishment.
Right.
Yeah, facts. I mean, I love champagne. I love Pinot Noir based champagnes. You know, that's not to get all too technical. So I shit on a lot of Chardonnay.
But get technical, like this
Yeah.
is where we at.
Flex.
We all know, like I know all three of you have more knowledge on this aspect of things than I may. So please, man, use the platform.
To
Get to
what I'm
it.
saying, to what Oscar was saying, you know, be ourselves. This became a lifestyle. Right?
This is you, yeah.
How I live, how I drink, how I eat, and because of that, because it became a lifestyle, I became really particular about things that I get to stamp on the food. So, wine, Pinot Noir, champagnes, absolutely. White, I call myself a winist because I don't drink white wine. I'm like, I don't. It's not complex enough. It stops. It's, you know, you get the acidity, maybe get a little body, maybe a little minerality, and that's it.
Right.
Whereas with red, I get more. I feel like I get to pick it apart though. It's more versatile. White wine is rosé, same shit. Back to the champagne though. Back to the champagne is like I love Pinot Noir champagne because it's easier to drink. It pair well mostly with foods because it's such small bubbles, very little fruit, and it's just clean. Like, I like clean shit that make you salivate and want to drink more.
Okay.
I don't know how we got on that. But
Yeah, hell yeah.
No, that's fine. I'm, like I said, man, speak away.
And that's that's the point of champagne. If you think about the history of champagne, you think about champagne was not available for everybody to drink in the Middle Ages. Um, we all heard the stories of Dom Perignon um, making champagne by mistake
By mistake.
and having this
Wow.
famous quote saying, "Come everybody, I'm drinking the stars," because there were bubbles in this wine that went
Ooh.
wrong. It was like almost being at the music studio. All of a sudden you're there, the music stops, you start mixing something, something comes
And
up.
the magic
Or
happens.
being
Mm.
there late at a party, the DJ comes on, fresh, new beats,
Mhm.
and that's
Oh.
like a moment of revelation for him.
Yeah.
And we have to think about religion and the tradition of making wine, because we wouldn't be making wine if it wasn't because of the monks.
Shout out to the monks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are historical facts of different sects of monks all over Europe. In abbeys, they were praying all day, they were growing crops, and they were making wine. So the reason why we have the wine culture now is because of their determination to keep making wine during the different kind of stages of political, climate, and
Civil.
cultural changes in Europe.
You're talking about as far as the Vikings too.
Oh, yeah.
Could you imagine that? What was being done then? And then Abbey, correct me if I'm wrong, that's like an alley, right? Or a section in the city, it's like a dark alley.
An abbey is basically a commune of sectarian monks.
Okay.
That is kind of like a church where they live and they pray, and they create a community.
Okay.
Um, So the sense of community, you gotta remember, these are people that were isolated from the rest of the world. Work was a big part of their everyday life, and making wine was part of their tradition.
Okay.
A lot of the traditions that we have in the current wine culture comes from that inherited traditions that they have. And I know people would argue differently based on historical facts, but I've been there. I've been in the caves. Yeah.
And you speaking of that, it's a
Yeah.
religious trajectory to that
Right.
too. They could argue that too.
Right.
But hey,
Right. I mean, like we see in southern Spain the influence of the Moorish in, for example, Andalusia and Jerez with
I love
sherry.
that cocktail by the way.
Mhm.
So and sherry and champagne actually have a lot in common.
Andalusia, yeah.
A lot in common. So we got to think about history when we're drinking these wines. We got to think about every time we open a bottle. I think about history, liquid history, and the fact that we have it, and the fact that we are kind of the new monks of our culture.
Of course.
Love it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
So what you doing over there? What you doing over there, my boy?
But to pick up and to piggyback on what Oscar's saying,
Yeah.
Oscar makes a great point. None of the things we enjoy now came from privilege. They came from toil, often
Right.
oppression. And,
Right. Right.
These monks put themselves through self-flagellation, through the toil of prayer. It's its own kind of servitude.
Right.
Calvados from the farmers,
Awesome.
these people had to make hooch. The corn farmers, who were first cotton farmers in the United States, that gave birth to bourbon. It's a black art form before.
Right. Just like barbecue.
Before it was co-opted by the whites, bourbon was a black art form. They just
Yeah.
couldn't own distilleries. So everything we drink comes from some sort of oppression, servitude, heartache. It doesn't come from privilege.
Because it was the availability we were given,
Yeah,
not necessarily something that we were privileged to have.
yeah.
Right.
Or privileged to have the opportunity to make. Now
Right,
you're
right.
privileged to have a still and make bourbon. Back then, people made stills
But
like
still
garbage
with
can.
rules.
Exactly.
You know, I gotta.
So it's like, to be able to make these delicious wines, spirits, cocktails accessible. Like the shit
Right.
you did at Diamond Reed was golden.
Right.
Still the best pina colada on earth. I dare anybody to
I
come
used- I
test
used
this.
to-
My favorite cocktail.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
I
So-
used to tell people they were like $13 for the 8 ounce. I was like, do you know what's in here?
Yeah, you're gonna die.
I mean, I could tell you. I should charge you $30 for
Yeah.
this pina colada.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
what's in it.
Yeah, you
You
know.
know.
So it's like part of the movement, part of why Migos, and how we all kind of started clicking. I'm fairly new to click. They
Oh, okay.
I got the blessing
Oh,
couple months ago.
It's crazy because not the country. No,
No, no, go for it.
no, because I was going to say the day we chopped up the idea to put the article was us three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were sitting down and then
Talking shit.
and then like we blessed Calvin and you know
Oh, you
we
gave him the
Migos.
Rockefeller.
we jumped him in,
You gave him the Rockefeller chain?
Give him a chain. Give him a corkscrew, yeah. You're official now. So,
No, we initiated him with this.
Yeah,
Oh,
so that's
boy.
what we usually
You were
do.
knighted.
United, we
Bang.
usually take the champagne
no
cork
brain.
and put a ring on it. Yeah, it would be fantastic, right?
Yeah. And to finish the point is like the fact that it came from that toil was because people needed to escape a harsh reality, either
Right.
farming, servitude, slavery. They needed something to deal with the harsh reality of life.
Right.
So there's so much joy in that. So when we take these champagnes, like we're working on a Wine Migos event called Chimichampaña Ganga Ganga. And it's just it's chimneys and champagne in the heights with dembow ass shaking.
Facts.
Yeah.
Shave your
I think I
coochie,
could- I
shave
think
your
I could
nut
go to that
sacks,
one.
get your
Crude
vaccination.
Dom Perignon, yeah.
Shave your gooch, shave your pussy, shave your nut sack. We're getting vaccinated.
I'm
You seen the juvenile vax that ass up?
Back to that. That was a bad guy.
What did Juvie get for that?
Hopefully vaccinated.
We got that Biden bag. Biden, we got that brother Biden bag.
That was bad. That was bad.
But yeah, so yeah, making it accessible and
Yeah.
So what made him fit in to the group that originally was three? What made that something that was
I-
you guys were like, hey,
So-
he's pretty cool.
Right. So Kelvin is my spirit advisor, and spiritually because he's very sensitive. We also connect because we're both Latin, and we are also out of the box. So Kelvin is like Mr. Sensitivity to me. Like he brings me down. He kind of like he's like a silk robe you put on,
Just
and
mellows you out.
out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's level of sensitivity you don't find, and people that own that and say, you know what, I'm Mr. Sensitive, I'm cool, I'm down. And that aspect was very important for what we do because I think of wines in emotional senses. I mean, we can talk about wine and I say this wine is sensitive, it's jovial, it's that song that you want to keep playing. It's Miles Davis,
Mhm.
It's John Coltrane, it's Tyler the Creator. Be yourself, drink what you like, and that's what we do as a group. And that message, when the article in Saveur came out, was untainted. Nobody changed our words. We all said what we needed to say. We were being 100% ourselves. And to have a national major food publication
Do that.
pick up this story on 4 guys that
They're
we
not
have
white.
established
Crazy.
careers.
They're not white.
Facts.
Correct.
Let's just, I'm just gonna.
Yes.
Don't worry. I'll wean it. I'll pull it through.
No,
they
no,
could
but-
they could get me for it. I
No,
don't
but
care.
we're not.
They're not
We're not white at all.
And that is not our designation. These are designations that we have been giving, and we have to accept.
Right.
So when that article came out, we kept looking at, like, we kept pushing it. We want it. Came out, was like I had tears. I was like texting everybody. It was a moment of incredible, jovial happiness. I came to Mo's spot and we were drinking champagne on the sidewalk.
The wine church.
That's what I loved about
Real.
real thing about real quick.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna cut you off. 2020, people are drinking on the street
Oh, it's-
and behaving.
New York.
Oh, New
Because
York.
they're like, yeah.
New Orleans now.
Yeah.
New York is New
yeah,
Orleans.
yeah, well, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we gonna see.
Yeah.
we gonna see.
It's old New York though.
Whoever saw Oscar's my OG, right? He's one of the people that influenced my career. Like I got into the wine shop.
So he's like your mentor.
Literally OG.
Yeah,
I don't because his name is Oscar Garcia. I've been calling him OG for a long time.
Right.
Whether it's fashion, like when my father-in-law died, the only person I went to. But I don't know how to express my feelings. I express my feelings usually through violence.
You wanna fight?
Yeah, I always do like hood shit.
But
So
that's
so-
how that's. But go
that's
ahead.
how it came up. I was raised in a house full of women and
You're taught to not cry,
ever.
not talk.
Ever.
I know. Me.
Ever.
Me,
So
we
it's
talk
like
about that all
you
the
can't,
time.
you can't, you know, I'm the man in the house. So fuck
Right.
it. That's how I run the street. And when my stepfather died, I went to this nigga's house, and I didn't tell him. He didn't know. But
Let me see
you know,
him.
we went there, we sat, and I was able to take my mind off of it, but to talk to him in a way where I felt like this is the person who cares and understands. Not even want to judge me. That's what I care about the most. Don't ever judge me. Accept me for who I am.
Yeah.
And because of that, whoever he vouches for, I fuck with. Cool.
Oh, so that's how it.
That's how it came
That's
about.
how it came about.
Me and Calvin have a mutual friend through.
This conversation is fucking dope.
We have a mutual friend
It's
through.
already. We just started.
David,
20 minutes in.
David. Shout out to Mescal Dave. Right?
Mescal Dave.
He knows Calvin. They work
Jesus.
together. I know Dave because Dave was my sales rep. And when Oscar vouched for Calvin, I was like, oh, he's good. Dave could vouch for Calvin, but I was like, I'm not going. All right, go
Right.
you know, whatever. But
Right.
so he was good. So when we went out a few times, all right, cool. I still fuck with him. I fuck with him. I gotta fuck with him. He from the Bronx, although he live in Brooklyn. That's different.
No.
But, you know, that's
Shots fired,
And,
bro. You gotta. My family, my mom is gonna hear this.
He
Bro.
lives in Crime Heights though.
Oh, where?
I live
He in
in
Crown Heights.
I used to live in Brooklyn.
He in the Crime Heights.
I used to live on.
East Flatbush. I mean, East Flatbush.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, East
He in the
Flatbush.
bush. He's still in the bush. I'm alright.
Yeah.
So I was saying all to say though.
They already
that's-
know me.
That's how this came about though, because like it was like, all right, I grew not to say I grew up with Marquise. We're both from Harlem. I've actually hired Marquise at 67 Wine Shop, and then I've known him from there. Like we happen to know the same people growing up from Harlem with him. So I've known Marquise longer than I know Calvin, and Marquise was in because me, Marquise, and Oscar all used to work together. The Migos didn't come about until one lunch. Oscar was like, yo, we the Migos. I thought the name was, alright. but then it grew. He kept saying it, then it grew on me. And I'm like, alright.
Sometimes you need to
this is
attach
just-
something that people are familiar with.
Yes.
Right,
yes.
and you don't worry. It'll
No,
create
it's-
it'll create its own.
It's there now. And
hysteria and bubble.
and how we came about is through this guy. Through Oscar. That's why I keep saying he's the OG. He's
So
the,
you're the root. You're
he's
the root. You're the
he's
root
he's
cocktail.
And then like
All the riffs.
yes. 100%.
I don't,
good.
I don't like to take credit, but
Okay, but he
listen,
gonna do it.
I
Right.
have my own champagne. with my
Talk
name
your
on the
shit.
bottle.
Talk your shit.
So when people say to me, I've done this, and can you imagine breaking into an industry or a culture of champagne? If you go to Champagne, it's all like high life, Boulanger, Paul Roger, old cars, old traditions, old world.
It sound like my retirement.
So
You up?
so to have a champagne, a bottle that I can pop, that I can bring to a party, that I can play with, that I can party with, that I can like bendiciones, papi, todo eso.
Yeah, they be
That's-
splashing me with champagne and shit.
Right. That's like
I love that shit.
I tell people, what do I have in common with Dom Perignon? The fact that I have my name on a bottle of champagne.
Done.
Oh!
Where is
Yes.
that? This is
That's the
this is
OG
it
right
right here.
there.
This is it right here.
That's the OG right there, man. You know, don't be bullshit. Come to the wine churches in Harlem.
His name's under the bottle. So it's
We'll
like,
we'll drink champagne in the street. Well, that's what we do.
And
That's
hold
okay.
on, baby.
I wanted to mention something that we didn't have on the mic when we were talking earlier, when you were saying that you don't mean to brag, right? And I say to that, do it.
Talk your shit, man.
Because when I was before you got here, we were like, we've never had anything as colored people, right? So any little thing we did get, right, to the community is like, why are you doing that? Why are you boasting? Why are you bragging? You know? But what's not taught is the celebratory fact of somebody amongst us doing it, right? And also the thing I think that needs to change is the share of information, right? To bring people along, not to save it for yourself, but that comes from the mentality of that we had a survival of the fittest, where it's like, if I make it out, I'm making it out for me, not the rest of y'all.
Right, yeah.
So brag by all means, because you have the platform now that you're sharing, like with this gentleman, Kay over here.
And
so
And that comes back to the moment that I interacted with Mo. I mean, like we interacted in a human form with without color,
Right.
you know, and the fact that I like growing up in New York, playing handball, playing basketball, doing all the crazy things of that we do in the city. If you
Sure.
grew up in the city, you know that. Like
Right.
we are territorial, meaning like you're from the heights,
Mhm.
you're from, and you don't fuck with
Shout out to
people in
fucking
different
Bronx.
towns. You know what I'm saying?
East
So-
Capona Park, you heard?
So what I'm saying is like Mo, like he looked at me in a certain way. I was personifying an idea of a wine professional through fashion, yet I wasn't fully comfortable with. But I thought like this is what a wine professional has to do. But I was making the fashion myself. I was rocking like tweed jackets. I was doing the
You guys gotta
bug
meet
tie,
my brother.
all the crazy
Nah,
shit.
yeah,
I was
yeah, we gotta
doing
talk about
all
that.
So what I'm saying is that we connected on a human platform. We didn't connect it through fashion. Yes, we did. That was a part of our connection. But we connected because we had a conversation, and that's what we do, and that's part of our culture. We talk. Storytelling is very, very important in
Yeah.
what we do.
Is on the side note from everything, is I'm very protective about being from New York. I
That's a
think-
light statement, Wade. You said that you were like, you guard that shit with your life, and you check
Yeah.
motherfuckers, like niggas that come in and be like, I'm from New York.
Where?
It's like,
And I'm like, where you
Where?
from?
Where
I'm,
you from?
Exactly.
I'm from the Hudson Valley.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Or like, I moved to
See,
Brooklyn.
look at this. See, all three of them. I say it no, so I'm not tripping. I'm
You
not bugging out.
You from New York State?
I moved to Brooklyn from wherever,
Nebraska.
7 years ago. I was like, you got 13 more years to go. But yeah, no, not to cut you off, but you talk your shit too, Whitmore.
I have
You
a
know
30-year
that, you know.
lease on real New Yorkers. Like people want to measure you up and that's the thing about this industry, the wine industry, and the fact that we have been extremely successful. We can get technical. We can do a technical show. Moselle and I have this Thursday lunch dates that we call disrupting the industry. So we go to fine dining places that
And
they
just
don't
be you.
expect us and
To
be
come
us. Yeah, so we order a bottle of champagne that it's off the list. We order a cocktail with like crazy Italian amaris. We go crazy, and I said to Mo, listen, let's go to Sistina in the Upper
Yeah.
East Side. Let's go to Barbelou.
Yeah.
Let's go
I'm rolling up in Barbara.
anywhere. Like they're like,
Rolling blunts and
Hey.
blue.
No, but you don't let me do anything. I just do it. You never take me out.
That's some shit where I was working when I was working. I was telling him when I was working at the membership clubs. That's the shit they were doing, and they're doing coke on the fucking table for people. Fucking $10,000. They just started. They was there for fucking half an hour.
What you gonna throw us out?
True.
Right.
But yo, wait, you said you're protective. Because I want to go back to that
Yeah,
real
let's
quick.
do that,
You
yeah.
said you were protective about being from New York.
Is it too? Is it? Yeah, I'm a
So
little.
am I.
Tell me
We
about
all-
that.
we all
Talk-
know.
I know,
We all
but
know.
it's like I would like to talk about.
Just a segment.
what I would,
Just a segment.
I would like to talk
yeah.
about what it means to you, what it means to Mo, what it means to you,
Right.
why we're protective of it.
I think for me, we're protective of it because being from New York is like a commodity. It's like a hot product that's hung on the shelf, right? For me, it's something a lot of people feel like, oh, I'm ready to go buy that New York thing that makes me feel like I'm part of this, but you can't be. It's God writ it out that you're not part of this. You can't. You don't know what you've gone through, school wise, friends wise, just the life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Experiences. Yeah.
Man. In essence, and sometimes like I feel like I G-check people like too much. I feel like I'm like, nah, you can't be from here. Like so that's why me and this dude, man, I'm like, this my man.
Yeah.
You from?
$100,000.
Yeah,
Right,
that's my
right.
nigga. You made me exactly the person I met. I'll never
Oh,
forget.
the Labor Day.
Labor Day.
Labor
And I
Day.
was like,
Labor Day,
I was like-
2019.
I was like, this nigga's giving me old New York energy, like old New York, like. And I was like, excuse me, my name's Whitmore. I was like, where are you from? Because he had the vibe that wasn't like, I make cocktails. He was like, he had the Yankee fitted on.
Oh,
He was
lovely.
laying the cut. I was like, this dude looks like he's like New York fan. He's
If
like,
you had the Mets fit on, it'd be a problem.
Oh, I wouldn't talk to him. I would have thrown that. I would have thrown that daiquiri in the garbage. Shout out to Game.
We didn't really talk, but we just like kind of like, yo, what up? Cool. I'm Kelvin. I'm with Mark.
Bust it.
Boom.
And then I found out you're from LES, and I was like, oh, no doubt, like.
Yeah.
And it all made sense.
Yeah.
And then when I went to Diamond Reef, every time I went to Diamond Reef, it was like I was more comfortable when I was with Wilmar because you have to understand New York cats.
You know, so
Answer, yeah, that you can tell.
Right off of that. My it's gonna make sense. My wife is from LA.
Your wife's from LA?
Yeah. We're not married, but like
I have cousins in the West Coast. So
born-
like,
born
I was
raised-
6 years in California too. So
I'm
like
born
I
and raised
know
in
that
New York.
I know both bad parts.
when we talked about having kids, and we talked about having kids, I'm like, if we have kids, I want my kids to be raised in New York. Because being raised in New York, I was riding the subway at 7 years old. There's a level of growth, maturity, and experience you get as being a city kid.
Yeah.
From your mother, even the simplest
Navigating.
even the simplest, you live in your apartment building, your mother go to the deli and buy some tissue or whatever.
Yeah.
That experience of you going to the deli by
You
yourself
send the kids to go to the
to
store.
the store.
Buy a 40.
That's my.
Lucy's.
I bought plenty for
Go buy
Lucy's.
Lucy's.
Go ahead.
And come back with my change.
With my change.
Yeah, come back with my
Yeah,
change.
you like- You're 10 years old,
Don't buy no
but
peanuts.
Poppy know your mother, so you
Right,
you
you
wait.
can get it on
and
credit.
You get it there like, yo, let me get 4 Lucy's and the 40 and some
I
more
love it, I
tissue.
love
You
it.
gonna bag it for you gonna leave. I'm 10 years old carrying this, right?
Yeah, but-
I can't be 10 years old in LA doing that.
No, you
It's
can't.
that experience is different.
No.
It's more secluded. Like New York, it's how I am. It's in your face, honest. There's a problem that selling right now. That's New York.
Yeah.
Cause shit happened. Oh shit, what you gonna do? Well, you have to figure it out right now. You can't wait.
Or if you see something,
Yeah,
you're gonna be
what's
like, yo,
Say
let's
something.
go with this.
Right, what's wrong with this? So what I love and protect about being from New York is how real we are, how unapologetic we are. We can be wrong. I never met a New Yorker who was like, yo, you know what? I'm never wrong. I was wrong about that. You right. But you know, we're saying but next time that won't happen. But whatever. It's that what I protect. That's what I love about being from New York. Is just how authentic you are. So when I came to this industry and meeting Oscar and you know there was other salespeople who would be on the floor who wouldn't come downstairs, right? So they added a extra level of separation. Then exclusivity.
Caste system.
We all have the same job, right? We all work in the same store.
But
You're selling the
You
same
don't want to come down to the basement. Now you calling down to the basement. Yo,
You
where my
need
cakes
something.
at?
You
Oh,
need something.
cool. So now it's a hierarchy, and then to see one of those people come down,
Get my
grab
shit
it, get
myself.
my shit. Yo,
Yeah, I'm gonna get my shit myself.
What you doing down here?
Yeah, because I'm not too good to go downstairs.
I'm
and
from
get
New
dirty.
York. I'm not too good to get dirty. I get dirty every day.
From the mud, baby.
I'm from here.
Yeah.
But I was like rocking like rugby, tweed. I mean, I love that. The sense of rugby was like urban, was New York. I don't understand why the line was killed. I think it was extremely successful.
Dipset killed the line.
But it became
It's a religion.
It became kind
Damn,
of
and
like
rugby.
a mockery of the brand. I think like people appropriated the brand without really knowing the heritage. First of all, it was extremely stylish. It was young. It was hip. It was urban. It was New York. It was like 600 different neighborhoods in the city at once. And the thing is like, what the fuck is taking too long? I need a fucking bottle of Dom Perignon. I have a client that needs that bottle. So I went down to the basement. I see this guy. Hey, where's my bottle? And that's
What'd you
how
say?
we
What'd you
started
say?
conversation.
What bottle?
I'm busy rolling up.
I got this invoice right now. What are you talking about?
I didn't start,
I was rolling up on this
I
invoice,
didn't
bruh.
start smoking weed till I was 21.
Ah.
I used to think it would affect my basketball career. Not that I had a basketball career, but I used to think that
I certainly thought I did.
young black brown from New York. The thing, I know.
I thought I had a basketball career.
I was going Dominican nigga playing soccer.
Soccer.
You
My
know,
dad was
yeah,
like,
maybe.
pick up a bat.
you know
and
how
go
many
play
Olaf
baseball.
shorts? Remember
I
Olaf?
played baseball too.
Oh, what?
You remember Olaf's
Yeah.
from Uptown?
Yeah.
That sold the shorts?
Yeah.
Remember those I had? I thought I
They
was
used to show the shirts and
How
jerseys.
many, how many of y'all New Yorkers know Omar? You brought back some shit. How many of y'all know that?
Not too many. Listen, you gotta be from New York to know that. You know, you gotta be from Manhattan mainly, because there's some Brooklyn shit I don't know, and then that's like strictly for Brooklyn folks. I don't know. Like,
There was a point when like my boys from Brooklyn would never come to the city.
Reverse.
Because they're like, what I gotta do over there that I can't do here on the
Facts.
block? And I'm like, I ain't going to Brooklyn because I don't even know if the L train is coming off First Avenue.
Facts.
Because there was no time stamp
Facts.
to
Oh,
know.
yeah,
Or
that's
you would just wait for the tracks to rattle and shake.
Yeah.
So you know that the train was coming.
do you know how
Right.
privileged we are now?
Senses,
like we used
bro.
to just wait there in the train station.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Wait.
Looking down the tunnel like,
Yeah,
alright.
you letting life happen.
Is that the light?
You
Yeah.
just
Let
letting
me
life,
like it.
yeah, you just letting life
Bro.
happen, man.
Forever.
Born in Harlem Hospital, born and raised in
Let's
New York.
go.
I became a Knicks fan in '94. And I became a Knicks fan because I vividly remember this. So in I was born in '88, '94, I was 6. I vividly remember this. My stepfather, not even my dad, my stepfather, was sitting in the living room, Knicks hoodie on, watching the Knicks play the Bulls. He's yelling, not the Bulls, no, he's yelling at TV. The Michael Jordan wasn't playing, but he's yelling at the TV. What the fuck? Ah, he's getting mad. And that passion, I was like, oh yeah, I got root for that team.
It's passion. Heartache.
What team can make you so mad? And yeah, and it's the heartache. It's the heartache. It's the cheering for somebody for 82 games and they being tough and rugged. No real star
The
players.
Knicks,
You know?
the Knicks are for black and brown people, with the Buffalo Bills are for white people.
Facts.
Let's go.
Facts.
Shout out to
I
Buffalo,
swear
shout out
to
to
God,
Griselda.
I swear to
Benny
God,
Bowers, West Side Gun, Conway.
every Nick player from, I'll give it 90, 95 down, I thought they were all from the park. I'm like, damn, they just got everybody from the park. The OGs is like, they signed contracts. I was like, they all New Yorkers, like John Starks.
Yeah.
I was like, where he from?
Where he
Right,
from?
right, right.
Tough. Everybody
Tough.
was tough.
Tough.
Yeah.
But
Tough.
that was like remember like
Yeah, I remember when
the
the
next
Bulls played the
game
Knicks.
and like
Yeah.
the OJ Simpson like chase is
Yeah.
going on.
Or at the same time.
Split screen.
Yeah,
and
94.
that's the to me that's the shit that fucked up with the Knicks. I think it was like they were watching what was going on and not paying attention to what was going on in the
You think
court.
so?
But Pat Riley's, when you read his book, The Winner Within, you will see that statement that he says, I had Hugo Davis
Yeah.
on the bench,
On the bench.
and
Stop our fuck you.
John Starks was shooting bricks.
Bricks.
Yeah,
He built-
he was giving up for the block.
You know.
Cash Bill, Tennessee,
Fucking-
man.
Yeah. Houston retired New Jersey.
My man built a project, single-handedly in one game, built a project.
Houston retired New
Big
Jersey.
brother.
Yeah.
Crazy, bro.
But it's
I want to tell y'all right now how lit I'm gonna be going to work.
Good, but we're gonna follow you there. We're gonna turn up in your job. We're gonna pop bottles in your job.
I brought the Geronimo back.
You know,
He brought that Geronimo